Today on Dr. Phil. Yesterday you met Loretta. She swears this is the man who raped her.
I'm 100% sure that he is the man.
The DNA evidence says this is the wrong guy.
No.
Would it help you to talk to him?
Today.
He spent 14 years behind bars. Do you need to hear an apology from her? She is in the building. Is she willing to sit down with him or not? So you good to go?
I'm scared.
Loretta still believes that Dean is guilty. The last thing she wants to do is come face to face with him ever again. Tell me what you're thinking and feeling right now.
I feel like I did something wrong.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I know things are tough out there, but we can do this. If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about.
10 seconds to air.
Love you.
Well, thank you. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Ready, camera 5. 3, take track.
Go, Dr. Phil. Let's do it. Well, we have been unfolding an incredible story of a young woman by the name of Loretta who was brutally raped at the age of 15. Now, she stepped up at the time, and you know, a lot of rape victims have real fear about doing that, but she did. She stepped up, she cooperated, she participated, and she identified the man she believed without a doubt was her rapist. She helped police and the courts put him behind bars. But her world was rocked 14 years later when the man was released due to DNA evidence. It was a small DNA sample, but it proved that an innocent man had spent 14 years of his life behind bars for a crime he did not commit. Now still, Loretta was convinced that he was guilty and should not be walking the streets. She said it was the worst day of her life, knowing that he was back out and could get to her. Here are some of the highlights from yesterday's show.
I was 15 years old, on my way to school, and that's when my life changed. I heard footsteps behind me. I was punched and took me by my hair behind an apartment building. I was told if I screamed, he would kill me. I don't really know exactly what he did down there. All I know is that it hurt, and I just wanted to go home. I was told to pick up some dirt and to rub it on my vaginal area and to rub it on my chest. He told me to stay there. If I got up, he'd kill me. I waited a few seconds after I heard him leave, and then I took off screaming for help. The police had a tip. There was a man that resembled my sketch.
I was at work. I heard my name over the intercom. I came to the front and I seen this lady point.
I screamed, and I grabbed my detective.
And then the next thing I knew, they was putting the handcuffs on.
That was the man that raped me.
They told me what I was being charged with, criminal sexual assault.
When I found out what the charge was, I was devastated. I think they made a terrible mistake, and I thought it would be resolved real soon.
Once the judge said guilty, I just started crying. The counselor told me to pack your things, you're going home. I was like, man, quit playing. He said, I ain't playing. They said, your DNA test came back. You were not the person.
I'm 100% sure that he is the man that raped me.
This DNA evidence was sent to 2 independent labs, and both of those labs independently came back and said this man was not there. This man was innocent.
No.
She says, I have seen his face.
Not this face. Not this face.
Loretta, what if it was someone that looked like him?
I was there. I touched his face.
How could the DNA be wrong?
They weren't as careful with DNA samples back then like they are now.
If they found someone in the system that it did match, how would you feel then?
If they found somebody, I would feel excited, but it goes back to saying that I did something wrong.
What did you do wrong?
Telling the truth, look where it got me.
But Loretta, you did tell the truth, and you did do the right thing. With proper controls and constraints, would it help you to talk to him? You have nothing to be ashamed of. You have nothing to be embarrassed about. If you were wrong, it was an honest mistake. I think it would help for you to talk to him. It would help you get closure on this whole situation. Will you think about it?
I'd have to talk it over with my husband.
Can y'all talk about it? This is a decision for a husband and a wife to make. And I will support whatever decision you make. It's time for you to get some closure on this and just have some joy with your husband and your family. Isn't it time? Well, the question that we were left with yesterday was whether or not Loretta would be brave enough to face Dean for the first time since she had ID'd him as her rapist 15 years ago. Now, this is a very touch and go situation. I mean, it's just minute to minute, and we're going to find out a little bit later in the show whether she's willing to do that or not. But first, I want to show you just how often an innocent person is convicted due to eyewitness testimony. Loretta is not alone. Now, Jennifer was raped at knife point and ID'd a man she believed to be her rapist. Here is an excerpt from an interview that she recently did with 60 Minutes.
I remember kind of waking up and turning my head to the side and saying, who's there, who is it? And I saw the top of someone's head kind of sliding beside my mattress. And I screamed, and I felt a blade go to my throat.
A knife?
A knife. And he told me to shut up or he was going to kill me.
She vowed to stay alert and study him so that if she lived, she could help put him away forever.
I can remember looking to the detective and saying, it's between 4 and 5, can I have them do it again?
And then she knew it was number 5, Ronald Cotton.
Did you feel absolutely certain?
Absolutely certain.
Did anybody say to you, good job?
Well, what was said to me afterwards was, that's the same person you picked out in the photo lineup. So in my mind, I thought, bingo, I did it right.
Well, Ronald Cotton's trial lasted just 1 week, and it took the jury only 40 minutes to convict Cotton. He was sentenced to life and 50 years.
He started working in the prison kitchen. Then one day, as he watched a new inmate being brought in, he had a strange feeling.
I said, excuse me. I said, you look familiar. I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from Burlington. I said, I am too. I said, you kind of resemble the drawing of a suspect in a crime in which I'm falsely in prison for. Did you commit this crime? And he told me, no, he did not.
His name was Bobby Poole, and he was in for rape. He started working in the prison kitchen, too.
And the stewardess were calling me Poole instead of Cotton.
They were calling you by his name?
Yes.
In other words, people were mistaking the two of you?
Yes, exactly.
Then a fellow inmate told him that he'd heard Bobby Poole admit to raping Jennifer and the other woman that night. Ronald Cotton won a new trial, and his lawyers called Bobby Poole to the stand with Jennifer sitting right there. It was the moment Ronald Cotton had been hoping for.
Bobby Poole is in the courtroom. You look over there. What happens inside you?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. As a matter of fact, the strongest emotion I felt was anger at the defense. Because I thought, how dare you? How dare you question me? How dare you try to paint me as someone who could possibly have forgotten what my rapist looked like? I mean, the one person you would never forget? How dare you?
Well, Ronald Cotton was convicted again, and this time he was given 2 life sentences.
Back in prison 7 years later, he and everyone else was riveted by a big news story, the trial of O.J. Simpson. He was intrigued by something he had never heard of, DNA. Within days, Ronald Cotton was back in court.
You're walking out here today as a free man.
Well, at first, Jennifer couldn't believe it. She still felt without a doubt that Ronald Cotton was her rapist. even though the DNA had identified Bobby Poole as the man who raped her. But Jennifer still saw Ronald's face in her nightmares. Now, to get past it, she asked if he would meet her at a local church.
I remember him walking into the church, and I physically could not stand up.
She was nervous, scared.
I started to cry immediately, and I looked at him and I said, Ron, if I spent every second of every minute, every hour for the rest of my life telling you how sorry I am, it wouldn't come close to how my heart feels. I'm so sorry. And Ronald just leaned down, he took my hands.
Oh, gosh.
And he looked at me, he said, I forgive you.
Well, Jennifer is joining us on the phone right now. Jennifer, thanks so much for talking to us today.
You're welcome.
I'm really curious. Tell me, if you would, about the moment, if there was a specific moment when you said, I've identified the wrong man.
Well, the truth of the matter was, I knew that I had identified the wrong man as soon as they told me what the DNA test results showed, because I understood in my head how DNA versus human memory, you know, the whole reliability of which one. I knew I'd made the mistake right then, and they had told me that Bobby Poole had confessed also. But knowing it in your head and knowing it in your heart are very different things. In my mind, I couldn't get the image out of my brain. Like, I couldn't remove it.
Now, when you made the decision that you wanted to sit down with him and talk to him, what was your biggest fear? My biggest fear was that he would hate me and that he would somehow want to hurt me or my children. And you have to understand that Ronald came out June 30th of 1995. We did not meet together until April of 97. So it took me almost 2 years to come to a place where I could ask him to meet with me. I can't even begin to tell you the emotions that went through my heart. I mean, it was guilt, it was shame, it was paralyzing, it was debilitating, it was crippling, I was afraid. And what do you do with all those feelings? And how do you adequately tell someone, you know, I'm sorry? Now, you decided to write a book called Picking Cotton. Tell me, what effect did it have on you to actually get this out, write it down, and share your story with so many people?
Oh, it meant everything. For the two of us to share some of the most difficult and painful moments and learn was really an incredible experience for the two of us. And then to take it, you know, into the hands of the public to help, hopefully, as to how these problems happen. I mean, how do they happen? And then what do we do beyond that?
Well, Jennifer, you know, we're dealing with a very similar story here, and sadly, they're not isolated. There are more of them than we would ever want. And I'm going to hope that you can stay on the phone and listen to the rest of the show, because if Loretta does come out and have that meeting that you had with Ronald Cotton on the stage, I would love for you to be able to talk to her about the process you've had to go through in dealing with this and healing your heart about it. So I hope you can stay with us for a time.
Sure, and I'm happy to help both of them in any way I can.
Well, thank you so much for that, and we'll be coming to you again in a bit. Now, Dean's story is a lot like Ronald Cotton's, but unlike Jennifer, Loretta may still believe Dean is guilty. And I mean, it's literally minute to minute. She is in the building. Is she willing to sit down with him or not? That's coming up. Well, if you're just joining us, you're looking at an amazing man here. His name is Dean. He spent 14 years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. Now, I'd like for you to do what I've done. Think for a minute that somebody had taken 14 years out of your life, which would take us back to the mid-90s. I mean, just think about what you would have missed in the last 14 years, your children growing up, the joy that you have of being with your significant other, the person that you care about. Just having the peace of knowing you can get up and go to the store if you want to, you can go walk in the park. I mean, all of those things. Because as I've thought about that, it's just been overwhelming for me. His fiancée, Jewel, stood by him and has always believed he was innocent. This woman never wavered in believing in her man. Now, DNA evidence gave Dean his freedom just over a year ago. And you've been diving back into life and doing the things that I guess are designed at first to close the gap. What's been the hardest thing for you?
Trying to adapt back to life, the outside world.
Do you wake up in the morning and have to think about where you are, and do you go up and down emotionally about this?
Yes. I still wake up real early in the morning and just go sit and have a cup of coffee by myself just to think, you know, about all the stuff I've been through and how good it is to be in the outside world again.
Yeah. You were in love when he was arrested.
Yes.
Because you knew him, and how long had y'all known each other?
2 years prior to.
2 years?
Yes.
So 2 years together?
Yes.
And 14 years apart?
Yes.
Did you wonder if you would still be in love with this woman?
Yes.
Because you had to get to, she had changed in 14 years.
Right.
You had only known her for like 700 and something days. And then you're gone for 14 years, and did you wonder if you would still have those feelings for her?
Because after they found me guilty, right, and I told Jewel, I said, go ahead, go on with your life. You know, I'm gonna try to fight this, you know, and try to get my freedom back. And she told me, no, I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna fight this with you. And she did.
How about those children? Because you had sons and stepdaughters, and I mean, this is, the kids, they grow up.
Yeah. My son, when I left him, he was 2. Now he's 17. So I missed I missed all their lives, their whole lives, because all of them almost grown now. Yeah. So I'm trying to adapt, trying to be that father figure in their life again.
Did, like, your 2-year-old, did he remember you?
Yeah, we kept in contact over the years. You know.
No, but that's limited.
Yeah. So, but since I've been out, they stay in Arkansas. So since I've been out, they've been up here with me a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they found out that you had been cleared of this, that you were exonerated, what did they say?
They said, Daddy, you home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Well, it felt lovely. You know, it was kind of painful because, like I say, I missed all them years out of their life.
And that's what I was saying to the viewers. You know, you missed all the Little League games. You missed all of the Halloweens. You missed all the Christmas mornings. You missed all the fishing trips. You missed everything that is their life. And that's hard to get that back, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, you have agreed to talk to Loretta. Obviously, as we were just hearing on the phone, Jennifer was saying that it took her 2 years to get to the point that she could do that. I'm going to go backstage and see if Loretta will. Do you need to hear apology from her?
Yes, because that'll give me closure on my behalf.
I don't know I don't know if she's going to walk back out here with me. I don't know if she's going to say she's sorry. But let's just find out what happens. Let's just see what happens. Okay, I'm going to take a break. It's that moment. Up next, Loretta's backstage. The question is she going to walk the walk and sit next to Dean and look him in the eye? I'm going to go talk to her right now and see if between her husband and I, she can walk out here and talk to this man that I think deserves that apology. I'm going to go look. Be right back. How you doing?
Fine.
So good to see you. Thanks for being here, guys. All right. So he's out here, and you've been listening to what he said. So you good to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I'm here with Loretta and her husband, Monty, as you can see, and we're going to go on stage and sit down and have a very important conversation. All right? Let's go.
Sir.
All right. Let me introduce you to Dean. I don't believe y'all have met before. We have a seat right here. Sit right. It's all right, you can have a seat right here. Okay. Dean, let me introduce you to Loretta. And this is her husband as well, Monty, and I'm very happy to say that y'all haven't really met before, but here you are. So, Loretta, tell me what you're thinking and feeling right now.
I'm scared to see his face again. It's scary.
And you've seen his face in the meat market, and you've seen his face in court, but you haven't seen his face in an alley, and you haven't seen his face other places, and you get that up here, right?
Yes, sir.
But it's still emotional down here.
Yes.
Tell me what you're thinking and feeling right now.
I just hate that you had to go through something like this. I hate that I had to go through something like this because of this situation. And I hope and pray that we both can get closure in this.
What do you think about what Dean had to say?
I'm sorry that you lost him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to tell the truth. I'm so sorry.
Will Dean accept Loretta's apology? Well, we're going to find that out when we come back. Well, we're back with Dean and Loretta and her husband, Monty. You're doing good, Loretta. Stay with us here. I think you need to understand, and some of the things that you haven't heard Dean say, but he gets that you were 15 and he gets that you were hurt really, really bad by somebody. And he hates that for you. What do you want to say about that, Dean?
Yeah, I hate you had to go through something like that. I hate now that you have children, that your kids have to go through something like that. And I hope and pray each day that you can get closure. And this day, I accept your apologies.
What's the hardest thing about this right now, Loretta?
Being here next to him.
What makes that hard?
Because I feel ashamed. I feel like I did something wrong.
Have you accepted in your mind, I know y'all talked about this before and after we talked yesterday, you've accepted in your mind that this is not the person that did this to you?
After talking to you and my husband, yes.
So what makes it hard for you is being with him is not because you're afraid of him as a rapist and a brutalizer, but because you feel guilt and shame for what you've taken away, what you think you've taken away from him.
Yes, sir.
Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what it means to you to hear that.
It means a lot, especially what I've been through. I pray to the man upstairs all the time and live and to forget. You know, we all not perfect. We all make mistakes, but if you believe, he's always gonna make a better way for everybody.
When we come back, what Jennifer wants to say to Loretta. Loretta, we have a woman on the phone that has been through something very, very similar to this. And if you're just joining us, earlier on the show, you saw the story of Ronald Cotton, who, like Dean, was falsely accused of raping Jennifer Thompson Canino. Now, DNA evidence proved his innocence, just as it has here with Dean. She, too, had a hard time wrapping her mind around the fact that she picked the wrong man. And she's on the phone, and she's actually written a book about her experiences entitled Picking Cotton, because the man that she identified was a man named Ronald Cotton, when in fact the person that had done it was a man named Bobby Poole, and they were able to find him. She knows the pain of what you're going through because she wrestled with it as well. Jennifer, what do you want to say to Loretta?
Loretta, I am hugging you right now. You don't know this, but my arms are just wrapped around you and Dean both. Here's what I really need you to understand is the system failed with you. I mean, what happened to you and what happened to Dean is a human error. I mean, we make mistakes all the time, and it doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you human. And the system really was not designed 15 years ago, the way it is, you know, the way we understand it now. And so the system failed you and Dean both. I mean, both of you were victims of a flawed judicial system. And you're both beautiful, amazing people, and I just want to reach out and tell you that you're very, very brave. You're just a very brave woman, and I want you to, at the end of the show, get my phone number and call me whenever you need me. Dean, I've got Ron right here beside of me. You're an incredible man. You're a wonderful person, and I just wish you the best of luck. And gosh, I just wish I was there to just hug you both.
Jennifer, yeah, I think that we were talking as you were listening about the guilt and shame that Loretta feels once you realize what the realities are and what the truth is. And that moment was a tough moment for you, Jennifer, just as you've heard it being a tough moment here with Loretta, true?
Oh gosh, my heart was breaking. Yeah, just breaking.
Dr. Wells is joining us again today. He was here yesterday, and he is a world-renowned expert in eyewitness identification, the forensics that go into the legal system. He's a professor at Iowa State University, and he's been studying this for 30 years. And Dr. Wells, this is a situation where it seems the system failed, and I wonder what you have to say to these two so he understands that it was not the evilness of this woman, and she understands that she didn't have to have a bad intent in order for this system to break down.
Right. Well, eyewitness identification is always a difficult problem. It's virtually never the fault of the eyewitness. There are things that we can do to make eyewitness identification better. There may be some blame in this case, but not of the witness, but rather perhaps at the level of the investigation. We know now better that composites can change memories. We shouldn't single out individuals as being suspects based merely on their similarity to a composite. In that area, there were probably within a 2 square mile, there were probably 15 to 20 black males who would have looked like that composite. So it needs to be better controlled.
You know, and you make such a good point. And the reason I'm saying that to both of you is so that you understand and you don't focus on yourselves or each other in this situation. Because this girl was 15, and can you imagine the horror and terror that she was going through, the emotionality at the time? And they're having her draw pictures and make decisions and things of that nature. And then this system, whether it is suggestive, imperfect, or whatever, takes an innocent man off the street for 14 years. But there are more problems here than what you're, because you focus on what you did, of course. But as Dr. Wells is saying, there could have been problems at the investigative level, the sequence level, and look, the police do the best they can with what they know and have at the time. But it's interesting, in Jennifer's case, we have a composite that was created at the time of her rapist. So let's take a look at this. This is a composite. Okay, now let's take a look at the two men. And Ronald Cotton is on the left, and Bobby Poole is on the right. And, you know, clearly there are similarities between the two. I mean, they don't look like twins, but there are similarities between the two. And then you're comparing that to a composite, not even a memory. You're comparing it to a composite, because here's the composite. And to me, the composite looks more like the rapist than it does the man that was arrested and convicted twice of the situation. But I mean, that's just me sitting here now. I don't know. What do Loretta and Dean want to see happen as they go forward? As they go forward. We've been talking today about eyewitness accounts and their reliability. Now, Dean was falsely convicted of raping Loretta when she was just 15 years old. He spent 14 years in prison for this crime and was exonerated by DNA in 2008. Now, Loretta now understands that Dean is not her rapist and bravely came today to talk with Dean. What do you hope for this man going forward? What would you hope would be in Dean's life going forward?
That he can get relationships with his kids again.
Can you tell
that
him?
He can forgive me.
Can you tell him instead of me?
I hope you can get relationships with your sons again.
I will. This whole chain of events was set in play by what happened in that alley that day. You didn't ask for that. You didn't ask for that. This was all set in motion by somebody that isn't here. I want to try to find this person that's out there, because they're out there, and this DNA is going to match up somewhere, somehow. They're going to find this person if he's still alive, and he may not be. Given his activities, somebody may have killed him. And so then we won't know. But if he's out there doing crimes, they're going to catch him and they're going to match it up. And I want you two to work together. You know, as Jennifer just said, she's there with Ronald Cotton right now. And I hope that y'all can do that. Daniel Tweeten is Dean's attorney, and he's with us today. I mean, where are you, Dean?
Right here.
What I'm saying is I hope everybody works together to try to bring as much justice here as we can possibly get.
And we have the same exact interest. We certainly respect Loretta's privacy, and we don't want to unduly upset her, and we want to make this as easy for everyone as possible. And we are pursuing a lawsuit so that to the extent Dean's constitutional rights were violated by the police and the investigators in this case, he can receive justice. And we want to make that as smooth of a process and cooperative of a process as possible.
Well, I hope you two can help each other moving forward in this, really. I hope you can really help each other. And you're willing to do that, right? Right?
Yes.
That's what we want. Monty, anything you want to say?
We talked about it last night, and I think it'll take some time, but she's coming to understanding of what the DNA evidence means, and hopefully in time they will be able to work together. But you have to give it a minute. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. And what's your occupation?
I am a police officer.
We'll be right back. Seriously, I really hope y'all can work together and stay in touch with one another, and I think it'll really help you to heal, and I think it's a good thing for both of you. And I'm so proud that you came out and did this today, and I'm so proud of your attitude about this whole thing. So I think this is going to go a long way to helping get this behind you. Any last thing you want to say to her?
I hope you get closure, and I hope we can find the person who did this.
Can you help me?
Yeah, we can help each other.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What you just saw happen during the commercial break, and I just really hope that these folks stay in touch and help to heal one another going forward. Dean, Jewel, thank y'all so much for sharing this part of your life with us. And Loretta and Monty, thank y'all. Thank y'all for sharing this. I know it'd be a lot easier for you to just be sitting at home and isolating with this, which is certainly not in your best interest. Dr. Wells, thanks for educating us about this. It's eye-opening, isn't it? I mean, even now, I think of the times that I've seen things in my life, I question what I saw, you know, I truly do. And Daniel, thanks for being here and thanks for helping these good people. Jennifer and Ronald Cotton's book, Picking Cotton, is now available in paperback at your local bookstores. So, I mean, pick this up. It is a compelling read and will make you think. I promise you it will. And I thank Jennifer for being here today. For more information regarding the show, go to drphil.com. You can reach me on my blog or Twitter. Thanks so much. So long.
Today on Dr. Phil.
When Noah throws a tantrum, I feel like a failure of a mom.
What do you do if you have a child that acts like a brat?
Whether you have one holy terror or triplets.
Get up in that bed! Hush!
Why are you yelling all the time?
I don't think I yell all the time.
We have a lot of tape.
They're saying the blessing. Bow your head.
You can brat-proof your child.
You want to know the #1 thing you're doing to sabotage this child's future?
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I know things are tough out there, but we can do this. If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about.
10 seconds to air.
We love you.
Well, thank you. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Ready, camera 5.
3, take track.
Go, Dr. Phil.
Let's do it.
Thank you very much. Well, we've all seen them, right? Sometimes they're our own, sometimes they're somebody else's. Sometimes we turn and run, sometimes we stand there and shake our heads. We're talking about brats in the toy store. Does this look familiar?
Noah, stop making a scene. Everyone's looking at you. Grab the basket and walk.
Mom, please. Please.
Stop.
Well, so what do you do if you have a child that acts like a brat? Today, everyone, parent or not, is going to take a parenting quiz. Okay, now those of you in the audience here today are going to use the Paget gadgets. They're under your chair. Let's do question number 1. What do you do if your child has a case of the gimme gimmies? They're just insisting that you buy them a toy. We just saw that. Here are your choices. A, make them aware how spoiled they are. B, make them long for it so they will appreciate it when they actually get it. C, have them donate some of their toys to less fortunate children so they appreciate what they have. D, say no to some of the requests. Okay, audience, it's time to vote. Now, viewers at home, you can log on to drphil.com and take this parenting quiz along with my studio audience. And the votes will be tabulated and you can see exactly what you are doing. Have you guys voted? All right. The answer is B. Make them long for it so they will appreciate it when they actually get it. So let's see how many of you got that correct. Okay. All right, well, Betsy Brown Braun is a child development and behavioral specialist. She is the author of the book, You're Not the Boss of Me, Brat-Proofing Your 4 to 12-Year-Old Child. This is a good book, and every one of you need to read it based on your score. Now, and she's also the author of today's quiz, Do You Know How to Brat-Proof Your Child? Now, Betsy, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Now, talk just a minute about the difference, what you consider the difference between brat-proofing your child and disciplining your child.
Children are not born brats. We enable that behavior. We certainly smooth the pathway for them to get to be brats. So the difference between disciplining your child and brat-proofing them is huge, because discipline happens when we have a brat. Brat-proofing your child is what you do so you don't need to discipline.
Well, and we need to talk about both, because there are a lot of brats in this country.
No kidding.
I mean, there are a lot of brats. All right, well, the little boy in the video you just saw is named Noah. And no, he's not an actor. He just really wanted that Mario Brothers toy. Now, his parents, Vanessa and Xavier, say they need some serious help with his bratty behavior. And they're right. Let's look at a typical day at the park, and then we'll talk.
If we go to the park and we're leaving and he doesn't want to leave, he likes to swing, and I can't pull him out of the swing. He'll hold on to the chains. This is ridiculous.
Go, come on.
Let go. Let go. Let go.
Come on, baby.
He's not letting, moving your feet up.
It's hard to get him out.
Ouch. Noah, stop it. All the kids are watching you. Noah, stop, please. Let's go. Come on.
He wants what he wants. And if he doesn't get it, he's gonna let everybody know.
And then you behave like this? This is why you don't come to the park.
Go. Go with mom. Go with mommy.
You're not acting nice.
Get in the car. Go. Come on. Yeah, Papa, come on. Not that way. This way. This way. Go take off his shoes.
Okay. So that's your life.
Yeah.
Do you get how miserable an existence that is for him?
Yeah, it's for everyone.
Let's talk about everyone else in a minute. Let's just be selfish on his behalf for a minute. Okay. Can you imagine what it would be like, Xavier, in your day, if you had that much frustration, cried that much, stamped your feet that much, had conflict that much? Mm-hmm. What would that be like for you?
Yeah, it would be pretty frustrating. I mean, I wouldn't be able to deal with it myself. I'd probably go completely nuts.
Does he look happy here?
No, not at all.
He looks frustrated, he looks lost, he looks confused. Do you get that what you're doing, however well motivated or whatever it is you think you're doing for him, this child is miserable?
But I mean, it seems to be miserable just only when he wants those particular items. Everything else, he seems to be okay.
Which particular items? Are we talking about the park, the swing, the toy, the food, going to bed, dealing with his brother?
Yeah.
Pretty much everything.
Come on, I don't want to throw you under the bus here, but you got to help me.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't possibly mean what you just said.
No, you're absolutely right. I retract that.
It's usually me dealing with that all day, so he gets, just a glimpse of certain things sometimes. So he thinks, for the most part, he's okay. No, he's pretty much angry all day sometimes.
You said you sometimes feel very much like a single mom.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And this is your mini-me?
As Dad says, he's...
What does that mean, this is her mini-me?
What does it mean?
He copies Mommy. I mean, Mommy's a disciplinarian in the house, so he thinks that he can run the house. He pretty much tells everybody what to do, what he wants. If he wants a snack and a drink, he's going to get a snack and a drink. We're going to get it for him, because I don't want to hear that.
All my children act up. I am a yeller. I do scream. Enough. Go wash your face and stop your attitude right now. No, don't you dare try to take that off and throw it. Noah, pick that up right now. That's not nice. Control your temper. I am the boss lady, and my word is the law in my house, period. You know, on occasions will turn around and mimic my behavior.
Yeah, he bosses everybody.
Stop it!
He tells everybody what to do with an attitude.
You're making me alone.
Noah is a mini mom. He does whatever she does. He puts the rules here in the house. Mommy runs the house first, but he's close second. So I always give in. I'm the guy that kind of, okay, let me sit down and talk to you for a little bit. I'll discuss what you want, and we'll try to, you know, try to take his mind off one thing and give him another thing.
Which I think doesn't help at all.
Yeah, how's that working for you?
It doesn't. It doesn't work out too well.
I think it makes it worse for me.
It makes it worse for her.
Because then I'm angry.
Well, you think?
Well, definitely.
Yeah, of course
it
it makes it worse for you. So you're the bad cop and you're the good cop.
I'm the angry mommy all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad cop. I don't want to be.
And how do you express that? Are you the calm eye in the middle of the storm?
I'm not
Or are
gonna-
you in his face modeling this every second of the day? Let's escalate this. You go bigger, I'll go bigger. You go bigger, I'll go bigger. We'll all go bigger. And then Cool Breeze will come in and say, well,
hey, it's all right.
Have some juice and let's chat.
You're absolutely right. I'm the chatter. I'm the talker.
Good
No,
deal if you
I'm
can get
guilty
it.
of it. I yell.
Yeah.
I'm a yeller.
But it's work. Ron, I can't say it's work, but that's how
Our
our
other
life
two
has
kids are
been
just
through all the other kids, you know. Yeah, and I know at some point they will grow out of this, so I kind of feel like, you know.
Do you want to change this?
Of course,
Yes.
of course.
I mean, do you want to defend it or do you want to change it?
No,
Because if you want to defend it, we can argue for a while, or if you want to change it, we can just get to the doing.
I want to change it.
All right, we're taking a break. When I come back, I'm going to ask Betsy to come up and join us. We're going to put some verbs in our sentences. We're going to give this little boy some peace, not to mention these parents. We'll be right back.
My husband hardly disciplines Noah at all.
I'm not the disciplinary here.
You're having fun?
I kind of give in to everything. I'm the sucker.
I'm the mean one. You want me to spank him? I'm talking to you. Stop being rude. When Noah throws a tantrum, I feel like a failure of a mom. Stop. I get extremely frustrated with Noah's behavior. I am at the end of the rope with Noah. At the end of the day, I'm exhausted, I'm drained, I'm tired, I'm angry. I have tried everything. Nothing's working.
Well, moms, this is a Mom Alert Day because we are going to give you some things you need to deal with unruly children or to prevent children from becoming unruly, wherever you are on the continuum. Now, Vanessa does all of the disciplining of Noah. Xavier, yeah, not so much. He just is kind of not there, and so it's left to her. Clearly, they're not always having the same strategy. Let's take a look at this, and then we're going to talk.
I think you did.
My husband hardly disciplines Noah at all. It's extremely frustrating to me.
I'm not the disciplinary here.
You're having fun?
I kind of give in to everything. I'm the sucker.
I'm the mean one. You want me to spank him?
Doesn't spank him.
You want me to grab him and spank him? I'll spank him. And Daddy's cool and the funny one.
Now look, let me see Happy. Where's Happy? Where's Happy?
And I'm upset about it. You know what? I had it. I'm gonna wait for you in the car.
We try not to get him angry because we don't want him to start crying.
My husband doesn't discipline. I feel like I'm a single mom. I'm getting sick and tired of him doing this. We're supposed to be together, but I feel no support whatsoever.
It is easier to have Vanessa discipline Noah. It's easier for me. I don't have to stress. Vanessa can get him to do things right away. You know, Vanessa has that look. When Mommy has that look, everybody just, ooh, okay, we gotta get moving.
Stop. I really wish my husband would be more involved. He is a great dad, but when it comes to discipline, it's just not there.
Okay, go have some fun at the park and you come back and get your bum pillow. Let him rest up a little bit, okay?
I feel like I have another child. It's another big kid.
Okay, if what you said was true, that would be great. If she could just look at him and he would just like fall in, be a good little soldier and march along.
Right.
But that's not true.
Correct.
And so you're saying 2 or 3 things today that aren't true. And I'm going to make a list, check it twice,
Okay.
because you got to dial into this. Now, Betsy Brown Braun is the author of You're Not the Boss of Me. This is a terrific book. It's a how-to book. And you need to pick it up. You need to read this. You need to keep it close by your side, and you'll know how to find things once you're in it. Now, let's talk about this. You've been watching this. Let's grade the paper here. what's going wrong here? Then we'll talk about what needs to go right.
What I see that's going on with this little boy is lost. I think that this little guy doesn't feel acknowledged. He doesn't feel, he doesn't have anybody on his team. And the first thing that's missing is somebody needs to be on his team. That piece when he was in the store and he was crying, I was waiting for you to look at him and say, gosh, I know you really want that toy. It's not fun when you don't get to have that toy. You know, nobody's with him, you know. The way that we get kids to be on board is to be on their team, so we put them in a position of wanting to do what we want them to do.
Now, what are you hearing her saying? What's all that boil down to for you?
I thought that sounded kind of passive-aggressive. I'm telling him, no, you can't have that. Making him long for it, I feel like I'm torturing him more instead of just, you'll get it on your birthday or you'll get it.
Okay, I'll let you respond in a minute, but that's what I thought you were hearing because I was kind of watching you and you were like, yeah, right, lady. Okay, here's the thing. First off, this is a tortured child. Okay, that's what I was saying to you. This is not a happy child. Okay, children should be joyful. They should be. I mean, their job is to kind of prepare themselves for the next level and be happy. I mean, that's you want a happy child, right? And everything he will ever be, he is now becoming. So what you're doing is teaching him that if he raises enough hell, he will get his way because you cave. You cave quick, but you also cave, do you not? You've said you're inconsistent.
Yeah.
Eventually. So what he does is he'll whine and you say no. So he'll whine a little louder and you say no. So he goes, okay, you want a piece of me? Watch this. So now he just goes ballistic. And you're looking around at people in the store and you're going, oh my God, I'm that mother.
Yeah.
Do you think that in your head?
Yeah.
You're that mother, aren't you?
I become that mother that I totally would.
Yeah, you used to turn down the aisle and say, what an idiot. Right? I would snatch him up. I would but now you're her.
Yeah.
Okay? She is not saying be passive-aggressive and torture him. She's saying if this child is crying and whining about something, if you get down at his level and say, you really want that toy, don't you? And it really is frustrating that you don't have it. I know that's really upsetting to you. I'm so sorry that you feel that way. You're not getting it, but I understand how you feel. I understand how you feel. He doesn't really want the toy. That's just something he's trying to push the boundary and see if he can get it. He doesn't really want the toy. I guarantee you.
He wants the toy.
No, he wants it. He wants that till he has it. And then when he has it, he wants something else. There's no inherent value in that to him.
Right.
It's his current target. If it wasn't that, it would be something else. And once you get him that, it will be something else. He just wants to be heard.
I get it.
I'm sorry?
I get it.
Okay, I'm just helping out here.
I appreciate your help. And I want to add something else, Dr. Phil. You've got a kid who's just turned 5 years old. He is an absolutely typical 5-year-old. 5-year-olds want lots of stuff. Are you kidding? That's why the answer to the first answer in the quiz was allow your child to long for something. Children learn that they don't get everything they want when they long for it and they want it. And then maybe someday they finally get it. But this kid is acting exactly the way he's supposed to act. There's nothing wrong with it. But you living with one foot in each world. On the one hand, you say no to him really well and you're really tough and strong with him. And on the other hand, oh, but I don't want to see him cry. I feel so bad. He should have it. Wanting is a big part of growing up. Learning that you don't always get what you want is an important part of brat-proofing your child.
All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have a house call where Betsy goes and pays a visit with you guys. And I'm going to tell you the #1 mistake I think you're making that can sabotage the rest of this child's life. We'll be right back.
Come on, we gotta go to school. Noah, come on, you'll be fine. We went through this already. We talked about it. I don't have time for this. I have things to do today. You're gonna be fine. I'm gonna go pick you up. Come on. Walk out the door, please. Stop! You had fun yesterday. Walk downstairs, please. I don't want to pull you. Noah, Stop.
Now, Noah only eats snack foods and goes to bed hungry. So we decided to ask Betsy if she would make a house call at dinner time with this family. Let's take a look, and then we'll talk about what happened.
No, it's very finicky. To get him to eat, it's a hassle.
Dig into your food.
Please.
Come on, start eating.
4
You ready?
bites of each thing, okay?
Too much talk.
I'm not hungry.
Wow. We were asking for food in the car. Come and sit down, please.
It's now gone from you have to eat this to sit at the table.
Stop.
Sit down.
Now they're yelling.
I hate that he ignores me. Like, I find that so rude and disrespectful.
So guys, you have a very typical 4-year-old.
I believe so.
I would say probably 60% of all 4-year-olds are picky eaters. Do you know that you spent your entire meal talking about what he was going to eat? Noah got kind of a look on his face. And you said, he doesn't respect me. Do you see that look on his face? Respect is a very hard thing for a child to understand. He was unhappy. That's not disrespectful. He's only a 4-year-old. However, he is a smart little cookie, and he gets it. No question that when you go to tuck him in tonight, that's when you get to say to him, you know what, Noah? When I'm talking to you and you grind your teeth at me, that's not a way for a little boy to talk to a mommy. If you're mad at me, you can say, Mommy, I'm mad at you. And when you do that, I'm not going to pay any attention.
Can I talk to you? I understand that you get upset. And it's okay if you tell Mommy, Mommy, I'm mad at you. But it's not okay if you grind your teeth at me. That's very mean and it's very disrespectful. And even when we're upset, you have to talk to me. Don't yell at me. Because then I yell at you and then we're both just yelling like silly people. That's enough. Okay, I'll stop. Too much info.
Okay, what's your reaction to that interaction that you had with him at that point?
That was nice. I did talk too much. I lost him after 5 seconds.
It seemed to me that when you were talking to him in a very calm voice and discussing this, that he was locked on you, eye contact, laser beam. You had his complete focus and interest, true?
Yes. I try that, though. Sometimes he won't listen.
Listen, you don't do this once, you don't do it twice, you don't do it 3 times, you do it until. Okay. You do it until you establish a pattern. Because it takes 1,000 attaboys to undo one really bad message.
And can I just add something? Since I was there at the scene of the crime, you guys have to learn to talk about this stuff when your kids aren't around. You can't chew him out in front of your child, and you can't acquiesce and be wimpy in front of him. You both need to play an active role in this. One of you can't be the boss, and one of you be the the gentle guy.
And you are the boss, right? You say you want help, but you say there's one boss around here, and it's me. Is that what you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you say, well, now wait a minute. I don't boss you around. We talk. That's not what you said earlier, because I wrote it down.
Those notes.
I wrote it down right here. One boss around here, and it's me. Yeah. And then you get on television and you say, well, I don't boss you around.
Well, I don't tell him what to do, but we discuss like the rules or the boundaries.
You don't
of
tell
things.
him what to do. Did you just say that to me? Okay, you want to know the #1 thing you're doing to sabotage this child's future?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you in a minute. But first, we want to do this parenting quiz, okay? What do you do if your child lacks respect, makes faces, talks back to you? All right, without mincing words, do you tell them that they may not talk to you disrespectfully? B, do you send them to the room and tell them why? C, show them the back of your hand just like your father would have done to you. Or D, do not acknowledge their behavior or give them any attention. Now, audience, vote. Those are your choices right there. All of you at home, you can vote as well. Everybody got it? All right. The answer is D. Do not acknowledge their behavior or give them any attention. Okay. So 28% of you got that right. 38% said send them to the room. Betsy, I'll let you tell them why that doesn't work.
We do not want to give your kids 1 ounce of attention for being disrespectful. That just fuels the fire and makes it worse. Don't acknowledge, don't pay attention, walk away because your child gets the message, this isn't going to work with me.
So if he hits his brother, do I acknowledge it at that moment or just let him get away with hitting his brother?
That's not disrespectful behavior.
Well, he's rude to his brother too, though. He is respectful to his brother.
Well, by the way, of course he's rude to his brother. If he can't be rude to his brother, who can he be rude to? Siblings are rude to one another. That's what they do.
I get it, but sometimes it just gets out of hand.
For you or for the brother?
For his brother.
Well, then his brother and he have to figure out a way to deal with that. You have to help them to learn to deal with their sibling issues, but not at the point when they're involved in a discussion or a fight. If those guys are having a hard time, your job is to say, I don't know what's going on. I don't know whose fault it is, because you are totally blaming this little boy. He has all the power in your family. He's the identified bad guy.
Well, this is the brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
That can't protect himself from Noah. Okay. You have to understand, you have empowered this child. You have given him the expectation that he's running the show. You have given him the license to do this. You parents have done this. Okay, so you got to undo what you've done. All right, plug your ears. Let's take a look at this clip, and then I have another question for everybody. Take a look at this.
Matthew, what are you doing? Pick all of them back up right now. No, you threw them out. You're picking them up. Pick them up. Now, do you understand? Did you pick them up? You're not. No, you're not.
I'm not doing it until you let me out.
I'm not letting you out until you do it. Until you're ready to pick them up, you're not coming out.
Okay, so what do you do if your child lacks responsibility? We're talking about a messy room they won't clean, don't do their homework, won't pick up their toys, whatever. All right, pick up your Padgett gadgets. Those of you at home, it's on drphil.com. A, tell them what you expect, and if they don't follow through, take some of their possessions away. B, if they don't do their chores, you do them. C, let them feel the consequences of their actions. D, take away some or all of their allowance. Okay, you guys vote. All right, so did the audience get it right? I'm going to give you the answer when we come back, and then I'm going to throw a lifeline to the mother in that videotape you just saw. If you think that boy was a handful, there are 3 more where he came from. Wait till you meet the triplet brothers. Well, before the break, we asked, what do you do if your child lacks responsibility? Let's see what the tally was. The answer is C. So you guys did pretty well on that. Let them feel the consequences of their actions. Now, you are living in extreme chaos.
Yes, extreme.
Extreme chaos. Underline extreme. Let's take a look at that chaos in Laura's house.
Sit down and put the cushion back on the couch right now.
Why did you get in there? Well, don't you think you should get out?
Get off the kitchen table! What are you doing, throwing things? Stop it! You all need to get all this up! No, go!
Why are you crying when you chose to sleep in the other room from now on?
I want to sleep in the bed.
In your bed, now.
It's not in this room. What was that room?
What y'all doing? No, you're not.
As you can see, my life is crazy.
Oh, Betsy, I don't even know where to start. Have at it.
When I listened to those tapes, I needed to cover my ears. How in the world do you expect your kids to listen to one thing you're saying when you're screaming bloody murder all the time? My gosh, I wanted to cover my ears. The other thing I wondered is, do you have a relationship, an individual relationship with any of those kids? Do anybody ever get time with just Mommy and Peyton or Mommy and JJ or one of those kids?
There's really no time. I mean, because of my husband's work schedule, even if I try to sneak off and read a book to one, you know, I've got the other 3 bombarding in.
Well, you know what? I think that there's respect missing in that family, 100%. I don't think your kids respect you, and I'm not so sure you're respecting them or modeling respect. I think those kids are crying for some individual attention, clearly.
Well, let me ask you something. Why are you yelling all the time?
I don't think I yell all the time. It's just the video that I sent. Was yelling.
We have a lot of tape.
I know.
That is very representative of what we have. You yell a lot. Why do you do it?
I guess I've gotten so frustrated, you know.
Why don't you put a badger in a sack and come in the room and swing it over your head? Have you thought about that?
No.
But why not? It doesn't work either.
That's why I'm here.
Seriously. No, we can do that. Just put a badger in a sack and just swing it over your head. It doesn't do one bit of good for you to yell, and does a whole lot of bad, because you know what it does? It escalates the situation. You're stressing, but that stress gets stress back, and then that stress gets more stress, and it's an auto-exacerbating syndrome here. It makes itself worse. And it's just, I mean, where's it eventually going to go? We'll be right back.
Hey, stop it, JJ. He's been picking those up this whole time. Look at me. Did you hear me? Get up in that bed right now. Right now. Now. That's why you're not getting any. Hush. Back to your bed. Get in the bed. You will, do not spit in my floor.
Quit telling me how to drive. You're not the boss. I'm the boss.
Hush, every one of you. Hush. Hush. JJ, what did you do today? Yellow card again. For every time you bring home a yellow card, you're going to bed at 8 o'clock. You have to learn this stuff. It's not an option. They're saying the blessing. Bow your heads. Hush! What do you say? No, bow your head. I've had enough.
You know, seriously, Betsy, we don't need to fix this. We need to produce it. This would be a sitcom if the consequences wouldn't be so dire. But they are. You know, first off, where are you in all of this?
Work.
Work. And you work from when to when?
I leave my house at 2:45 every day, and I don't get off work and usually back home till usually anywhere between 2 o'clock in the morning till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
So it's a time problem for you?
A lot of it, yep.
How far do y'all live from the prison?
Which one?
Well, because you're going to be driving a lot if you don't get involved here.
Right.
You may not have time to interact with these boys at this point, and you're going to be driving to the prison and going up there and because these kids are headed for disaster if dad doesn't get involved here. The most powerful role model in any child's life is the same-sex parent. That's you, and you are in absentee. But it's time for commando parenting. You need to get involved in this 24/7 to get these young men under control, create some order in this house, or you are going to have a major, major disaster on your hands. And you need to get, this isn't your fault. Nor is it your fault. This isn't a matter of fault. It's just a matter of responsibility. See, fault implies intent, that you would intend to create chaos or not do the right thing for your children. It's clearly that you two are very loving parents, and they are blessed to have you both as parents. But you need some help here, right? Aren't you just worn out?
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be this way. This is fixable. These are not demon childs. These are just kids that have gotten out of control, and you've reacted in a way that actually escalates because your stress creates intensity, and you're raising 4 rambunctious kids virtually by yourself. Betsy, help me out here.
Each one of these kids needs to feel like he has a place and to feel significant. Children who feel significant, who have meaning, feel powerful. They don't have to be bratty to get their power. You got a house full of brats who are screaming for attention from their dad and from their mom. We got to eliminate the screaming, we want to eliminate the brattiness, and we want them to feel good about themselves. They don't have any reason to feel good. You need to give them a reason. Also, I'm wondering this, do you live anywhere near a college or a high school?
Well, we live in a very small town, but I mean, there's schools around.
How about a church?
Yes, I attend church.
I feel sure that there are people in your church, high school students, college kids who need child development credit, something who would be willing to come and spend an hour or 2 a week at your house as a mother's helper. Just play with 2 of them. One of them, isn't it amazing how few 3 kids is when you have 4? Right?
Yes.
And you need to recruit them before this airs. Okay? You recruit them before this airs. We want to get right on that, because they're going to think that it's like this, but it's not going to be like this. And you've got to plug in here. We've got to get some help. There are some other things that we can do to lift the load from you. You're not alone in this. We've got to help you with that. All right, we've got to take a break. I have 2 more quiz questions for you when we come back. So what do you do if your child isn't self-reliant? I mean, the kids are always complaining, I'm bored, I'm bored. Well, what do you do in that situation? Pick up your Paget gadgets, here we go. A, tell them only boring people are bored. B, help your child when they're not bored to make a list of things to do when they do feel bored. C, warn them that you will take away some of their toys so they'll know what bored is. D, make suggestions as to what they could be doing. Okay, audience, vote. And those of you at home, you can take this question on the website. Let's see how the audience voted. Okay, you're fairly close on this because, Betsy, the answer is B, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. Help your child when they aren't bored, because you want them to be self-reliant. If you come up with all of these ideas for them, they're not being self-reliant, they're being you-reliant, and you don't need any more of that. Okay, what do you do if your child has a problem with honesty? We're talking about telling lies, little white lies. A, take away their privileges. B, tell the story of the boy who cried wolf. C, ground them for not telling the truth. D, talk to them about why they feel the need to lie. All right, vote. All of you at home can vote. And now let's see how the audience voted. D, talk to them about why they feel the need to lie. So you guys did well on that one, right? All right. Now, some moms on my staff took this quiz, and they didn't do so well. So, Cindy and Carolyn, you guys took the test, right?
Yeah, we did.
So, Cindy, how'd you do?
Apparently, I only got one right, which was that last one. But, you know, I have a 10-and-a-half-year-old, and I think a lot of the issues that we've seen earlier in this show, I would have handled differently with a 4-year-old. But, for example, the issue of respect. A 10-and-a-half-year-old sometimes goes so far that I think you need to stop them in that moment and say, this is not okay, especially with a teenager who is testing the limits. But that's just my personal philosophy.
Let me respond to that, because I'm with you. There's no question you have to draw a line. But my point is you don't deal with it right there and give him the lecture on respect. That happens when you're out of that heated moment. That's what I meant.
Right.
Carolyn, how'd you do?
I didn't do so well either, and I have to agree with Cindy that my son is also 10, and I feel like I can reason with him more. And I always think of what you say about we're raising adults and not children, and when he does something that's not appropriate, I always try to think of, well, how would something like this affect him when he's an adult?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if your child has their ears open and can listen, and you can have a rational conversation with them, then you do it. If your child is in crisis and they're screaming and they're stressed, the learning quotient has gone to practically zero. So you don't reinforce the behavior, and then when all the stress is drained away, you say, you know, I want to talk about this afternoon.
And just because your child says, I hate you, you're the meanest mommy in the whole world, well, of course they hate you, and of course you're the meanest mommy in the world. That doesn't mean they're being disrespectful.
Are you hearing what we're saying here? Because I want to be sure that we come full circle with you guys. I promise you, if you will stop yelling, because right now it's like they're on fire and you're throwing gas on it. If you stop yelling, then you stop reinforcing that behavior. You will really drop the stress level a lot. And then it really is divide and conquer. If you'll carve these kids out and you kind of make that eye contact where they don't have to act out to compete for your attention, then you can start co-opting them into having some, some nice time and some quiet time. But you have to plug into this as well. And we're going to really work on what we can do to get you some help with this. You need some manpower help. You need some kind of family dynamic help to get this turned, and then you can be able to handle it. But right now, you need some reinforcements to help get this turned. And we're going to see what we can do to help you with that, okay?
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. Well, I've got good news and bad news when it comes to the chaos in your home. The bad news is you set the tone. The good news is you set the tone. Which means you've got tremendous power. So there's going to be lots more about this on drphil.com. I want to really thank Betsy Brown Braun. This is her book, You Are Not the Boss of Me. Now, and all of you in the audience will be getting your copy of Betsy's book, so we'll have that for you. And by the way, I have read this cover to cover. It is worth reading, and it is worth keeping around. Now, I promised you guys an answer. I said I wanted to talk to you about the number one thing that you're doing that can sabotage your child's future. Our job as parents is to prepare our children to thrive, succeed, survive when we're not there, right? Because we're not always going to be there. We have to teach our children the way the world works. If you don't teach them that the world pays for performance, if you don't teach them that they have to be responsible for their behavior, their choices, and everything associated with it, you might as well say, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to give you the keys to the car, and you go on red and you stop on green. Now, have fun. What's going to happen? They're going to crash in life. Your job is to love this child, but you got to teach them how the world works. Paget Communications, thanks for letting us use the Paget gadgets for today's live audience votes. We'll see you next time. So long.
Today on Dr. Phil, it's the classic case of he said.
You say that she hits and punches you.
She said.
My husband has turned into a psycho.
Are you afraid of him?
I'm very afraid of him.
But with so much at stake.
Did you twist Sonia's arm and force her to the ground twice while she was pregnant?
The truth needs to come out.
I don't remember twisting your arm.
Are those things true or are they not? Somebody is lying here. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. I recently received a letter from a woman asking for my help for her brother and sister-in-law who are in a situation that has me very concerned. Now, Christina wrote the letter, and she's here, and I want you to listen to some of it, if you would. Christina, would you read the letter?
Dear Dr. Phil, I'm reaching out to you to appeal for your assistance, guidance, and intervention. My brother and sister-in-law are in a marriage that is in unimaginable shambles. Both of them are so angry about so many things. They are immensely disrespectful to one another and allow their children to consistently hear their horrific exchange of words. I'm beyond hope sometimes in thinking that this monstrous situation can never be changed. Thanks for listening.
All right, well, I'm glad you wrote the letter. I'm sorry that you needed to. Now, are you aware of any physical violence that's going on?
No.
Now, Christina's brother Lawrence and his wife Sonia are backstage right now. From what they've told us, things are much worse than I think you're aware. Let's take a look.
I'm afraid of my husband. Lawrence isn't the man that I married. We fight all the time.
Sonia can argue 24/7.
My husband will always start the fights.
She's very combative and she instigates a lot of fights. She'll push my buttons.
Lawrence calls me every name in the book. Idiot, bitch, fat ass. He's, has yelled you to me in front of the kids. I've been called a
Sonia's called me a loser.
Oh my God, this is a freaking nightmare.
Lawrence is violent. Lawrence has punched holes in our armoire, doors. He has broken skateboards.
Sonia's broken 2 laptops and a big TV. She gets very violent. She's hit me multiple times.
When I'm violent towards Lawrence, I'm trying to protect myself and the children. I explode, and I'm violent towards him.
I'm not violent. I'm just responding to what Sonia's actually doing.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it? When I was pregnant, twisted my arm and forced me to the ground. And I just sat there and I'm like, do you realize what you just did? You just threw me down and I have a child in my stomach. And no response, nothing.
Total fabrication. I didn't throw her down when she was pregnant. She gets in my face and pokes me. She'll knock your hat off. She'll spit on you.
I would get that out of my face because I'm really just going to get upset.
I've had to run away and lock myself in a closet just so I could get away from her.
Once when we were at a hotel,
She grabbed the laptop and threw the laptop against the wall.
he pushed me, I fell over the bed. I'm hitting him and he's twisting my arms and I mean, it was just a nightmare. He just went stomp on my stomach and stomped my stomach and I was like, I couldn't breathe. This whole thing happened in front of the kids. The neighbors in the next hotel room ended up calling the police. They arrested Lawrence.
I ended up staying overnight in jail.
The whole incident made me feel like a huge failure.
Well, I didn't feel good about it. I was embarrassed.
I felt like someone was my fault, but I felt lost, like I do most of the time. My husband has turned into a psycho. I'm afraid that his violence may escalate.
Okay, now you guys just sat here and watched this with you saying things that were going on and your comments. What's your reaction to this?
I don't feel like I'm abusive person. I'm surprised what she's has said about me and being afraid of her, being afraid of me.
Are you afraid of him?
Yes, I'm very afraid of him.
You're afraid of him. Let's just be very clear about this. I want to be as crystal clear about this as I can. So I want you to be as honest as you can. And Lawrence, let me say up front, I'm not here to throw you under the bus. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you both. I want this situation to be better, but you got to own what you do. And let's start this way. I'm going to go through a list. You tell me if these things are true. But I want to start this way. And let's take out the labels for a minute. Let's take out abuse. Let's take out violence. Let's just talk about the actual acts and behavior themselves, whether they occurred or whether they not. Because you may have a different yardstick for measuring some of this than I do. Did you kick Sonia in the stomach during a fight at a hotel?
No, I didn't kick her. Basically, what happened was I was on the other side of the hotel. She wanted to communicate. I was on my laptop. She came over there and got aggressive. Took my laptop. I tried to get out of the door. She was in the way of the door, and I pushed her, which was not right, and I ran out the door.
So you pushed her. You say you pushed her. Would that be wrong?
Yeah, terribly wrong.
Okay, you say he kicked you.
Yes, he kicked me.
Okay, would that be wrong?
That would be
if you
wrong.
kicked her in the stomach. Now, we obtained the police report for the incident that took place at the hotel. Now, according to the police, you were arrested for 5th-degree domestic assault.
Right.
You were placed on probation for a year, and then the charges were dropped. And you admitted to the police that you were drinking. In fact, you blew a .05, I think, at the time, according to the police report. And they found physical evidence of an altercation. Now, Sonia had red marks on her chest. Her shirt was stretched and ripped. And you had a small scratch on your chest and a small cut on the inside of your upper lip.
Right.
Things got violent.
Right.
So you deny that you kicked her in the stomach. Now, look, we have to be honest here. We have to be honest. If I'm going to help you and your family, and I am committed to do that, trust me when I say that, I'm committed to do that. We have to be honest. You cannot embellish and exaggerate, and you can't deny bad choices made at the time. Right. Now, are you telling the truth that he kicked you in the stomach?
Yes, I'm telling the truth.
Okay. Now, one of you's lying.
Okay.
Somebody's lying here. You were both there. Nobody knows what happened but the two of you. Is she lying?
I did not kick her in the stomach. And the reason why I threw her on the bed, if I wouldn't have tried to get out of the door, it would have got worse, and she would have been more bad.
Okay, I understand you have a justification for it, but you admit that you threw her on the bed.
Yes, I
You
did.
physically imposed your size and your will, and you threw her on the bed. Yeah. But that's the fact, right?
Right.
You two stand up. Who's going to win this fight? Are you going to win a fight with her better than you're going to win a fight with somebody your own size?
Right.
I mean, we're both guys, both got male musculature. So you and I, it's a different balance of power than between you two, right?
Right.
So on its face, that's wrong.
That's definitely wrong.
If I take you and throw you because I can, I'm imposing my will on you. True?
Right. You're absolutely true.
So you're bigger, you're stronger, you're more powerful.
All right.
True?
Right.
I'm just asking the facts. I'm not asking you to judge it.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that's abuse or I'm just saying, is that a fact that you can impose your physical will on her? Because when I said that, you went, oh, man.
No, I said it was right. I said that's true and that's a fact. It is.
Okay, so we can agree on, okay, sit down. Thank you. Did you twist Sonia's arm and force her to the ground twice while she was pregnant?
No.
And I know this was a good while ago, but think back.
Did I twist her arm and force her to the ground?
Twice.
Twice.
While she was pregnant.
If she said I did, I guess I did.
That's a cop-out. You either did or you didn't.
Well, I don't remember twisting her arm. If she's actually saying that I did, 10 years ago, then I guess I probably did then.
Now, according to Sonia, you've called her, and I apologize for the language, bitch, fat ass, the word, an f***ing idiot, and that you've done this in front of the children, parents, and friends.
I have used some bad language in front of the kids, which is totally wrong.
So would that be an accurate list that I went through? I'm not saying it's one you're proud of, or that you would want to do.
I've used several derogatory words against Sonia around whoever is around.
So that would be true. Have you kicked doors in?
No, I haven't kicked the door in, but I've about a year ago I actually punched our armoire and I actually put a hole in that.
So you punched a hole in the bedroom furniture. You say he's kicked doors. Did you break your golf clubs in half?
Actually, I think I did break my arm. Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago, I think I did break all my golf clubs in half. Yeah.
And how about the kids' toys? Have you gotten frustrated and broken the children's toys before? Did you snap your son's skateboard over your knee because you were claiming he wasn't listening?
I have broke my son's skateboard.
On purpose, to make a point?
I think it was actually, because that was a way of, it wasn't an accurate way, but that was actually a way I was disciplining him, yeah.
Okay. I'm not asking what that equals, I'm just asking if those things happened, and with the exception of whether you kicked her in the stomach or just threw her on the bed, you say you have done those things.
Right.
Okay. Now, you say there's two sides to this story, though, that, she's not a little angel sitting on the side saying, gee, golly darn, wished you hadn't done that, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because you say that she provokes a lot of this and that she is actually very violent and confrontive herself.
She is very violent.
Okay.
Yes, she is.
Well, so we're going to talk about that. Now, Sonia says Lawrence violated her in a way that she can't believe. We're going to talk about that next, and we're going to talk about what Lawrence says about his wife. We'll be right back.
My sex life is very stressful. Lawrence is constantly wanting sex. It's not about love, it's about how can I get Sonia to have sex with me tonight.
Today on Dr. Phil.
I want my daughter away from this gang-banging, drug-using, porn star bad boy.
Hands off my teen daughter.
I know I've done a lot of bad stuff in the past. People do change.
Her mother thinks he's no good.
I love your daughter.
I thought you did.
This is his chance to prove her wrong.
Would you pass a drug test if you took it?
Yeah, I would pass a drug test. Would you like me to take a gangbanger test or drug dealer test? Do I need to take this as well?
My mom is going to say anything to try to break me and my boyfriend up, but I love Michael.
With his relationship at stake.
You said if he was doing drugs, that would be a deal breaker for you.
That's 100% deal breaker.
Will he step up or back down?
You agreed to take a drug test, and then
I'm not going to do it.
then that makes you look like you have something to hide. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. Now, we're going to hear from a mother and a daughter who have a very distinct difference of opinion. True?
Very true.
All right. I'm going to let you state your position first, then I'm going to let you state your position. So I'll give you like 30 seconds. Go.
I want my daughter away from this very charming, beautiful, gang-banging, drug-using, porn star bad boy.
Those are some pretty serious labels. And I'll ask you some questions in a minute.
Okay.
All right. What's your rebuttal?
I think my mom is crazy, and she's gonna say anything she wants to try to break me and my boyfriend up, but I love Michael, and I'm gonna be with Michael.
So you hope that being here today, I'm going to help you break her up from him.
Correct.
Now, you said some serious things. You said he's a gangbanger. You said he's a gay porn guy.
Yes.
A druggie.
Yes.
Why would you want to be with someone like that?
Because that's not what he is. She just tells everyone, like, I'm with a horrible person and I'm self-destructing, which isn't true.
Well, let's take a look at this, see what you think.
Ever since Caitlin has been with Michael, she has been a different person. All of her priorities have changed.
Mom definitely feels that Michael is bringing my life down, but I couldn't tell you why.
When I first met Michael, I knew that he had prior drug use. He was no longer using.
What concerned me most was these places that he was frequenting. One of the clubs is known drug haven, and that he was bringing my daughter into these clubs.
It was just absurd to think that I would do drugs. I'm a pretty strong-willed person and have self-control, so if someone puts it in my face, I can say no.
Michael had a lapse. He had spent an entire weekend with a friend of his using drugs.
Michael is definitely clean now, and he has been for months.
My hope is that Caitlin will get her head on straight
and put her priorities back in order.
My mom is definitely having trouble letting me grow up.
I will not sit and approve of a relationship that is toxic.
Well, those aren't the only issues that Melanie has with her daughter's boyfriend. We touched on it, but here's the full story.
I personally believe that Michael is bisexual.
My mom thinks that Michael is gay, which is crazy because he's always had girlfriends.
He frequented gay bars. He appears to have nothing but gay friends. He takes trips with gay men.
The assumption is really absurd, and I'm just kind of offended by it. I mean, it's 2011. People can have gay friends without being gay.
When I go to Michael's Facebook page, there were only pictures of Michael very scantily clothed, and they appear to be the same types of photographs that you see in gay publications.
Where does she come up with this stuff? And I'm like, I have no clue at all where she's coming from.
He told us that he was going out to San Diego to do a modeling shoot with Calvin Klein, and I have yet to see the proof.
I don't know what Caitlin's mom thinks I did in San Diego. I wish Caitlin's mom would have a lot more trust in me.
I am extremely petrified at the fact that my daughter could contract an STD.
I love Caitlin. I want to be with Caitlin, and I want us to get along for Caitlin's sake.
Okay, this is the guy that you say has come between you and your daughter. So, Michael, come on out.
How's it going?
How you doing, man?
Good, how you doing?
Have a seat.
Yes, sir.
Well, we were talking about you like you weren't here, because you weren't, so I thought we'd bring you out and put you in the mix here. Are you in love with her?
Yes, sir, very much.
Okay. Do y'all have a future?
We do have a future in
I mean,
plans.
do you intend to, are you going to marry this girl?
I would like to.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
As soon as I said that, she went.
You better say.
So it's your plan to marry her?
Yes, sir.
At some point. Now, there's been a lot of conversation out here about whether or not you're gay. Are you gay?
No, sir.
Are you behaving in a way that would transmit a message to people like her mother that you are?
I wouldn't say I'm transmitting a message. I mean, I have friends that are gay. I hang out with them like I would hang out with all my other friends.
Okay, well, one of the things that did bother me is you said that you left her standing crying in the street because you were going to go on a trip with one of your gay friends, and she said, no, I don't want you to go, I want you to stay here with me. Don't choose him over me. You chose him over her, left you standing crying in the street, and went off on this trip. Did that happen?
I just started dating Kaylin, and the opportunity with one of my friends came to go to Atlanta. She said, choose me or him. I go, he's my friend and you're my girlfriend. I'm not going to pick between you guys. So I decided to go, and Kaylin wasn't crying on the middle of the street. She was crying because she was sad on a sidewalk. So that was
Dr. Phil, they had been dating at that time for probably 6 months. He had been living in my home for several months. I had already been witnessing lots of questionable behavior. It was apparent to me when she walked down the stairs that midday that she had been crying for hours. Her eyes were completely swollen, and she was begging and pleading with him. She was hanging inside of his car from the waist up, saying, please don't do this. Don't choose him over me. Don't leave me. Don't do this to us. She was a mess.
True?
Yes, but it was also... Okay, no, not yes, because I was not hanging halfway inside a car. I kissed him for him to leave, so therefore, yes, had to bend down in the car, but it wasn't like I was hanging outside the car trying to get run over.
Well, you wouldn't have to bend down very far.
Yeah. Okay, I leaned in.
You said you found a modeling gig online.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And you went to do an underwear shoot.
Yes, sir.
And your gay friend met you there. And true?
He didn't meet me there. It wasn't a planned thing.
You went together?
No, we didn't go together.
Was he there?
He came there for a job. He was just happened to be there. It wasn't like we planned it.
This was in another town?
This was in San Diego, yeah.
Okay, and you just happened to both be in San Diego at the same time?
I was there before, and he had some job thing to do, so that's he came out there.
And you're concerned that this was a porn shoot?
My concern is that it wasn't what he said it was, and my assumption at that point, given past behavior, was yes.
Okay.
I felt as if he was on a porn
And this was a
shoot.
Calvin Klein shoot?
Well, I got online, I saw this thing, I sent some pictures in. They said this could potentially be used for Calvin Klein. They flew me down there. I stayed at this hotel, I did these pictures. I tried to email the lady back and never got him back.
Are you registered with an agency?
No, sir.
Are you a member of the union?
No, sir.
You just found this online and somebody said, come down here, we're going to take pictures of you in your underwear.
Yeah.
And you don't know what happened to the pictures?
Well,
you've called them back since and they don't answer the phone?
I called and emailed.
And no response?
No, sir.
Have you ever seen the pictures?
When I was
Did
there.
you get like a proof sheet?
I didn't get a proof sheet.
You did not?
No, sir.
And you don't know where the pictures went?
No, sir.
They just paid you to take these pictures and then they don't answer the phone anymore? They don't answer emails anymore?
Yeah, I guess that's how it happened.
Are you concerned about that?
Not really. I mean, went up to San Diego, so I wasn't really concerned. If it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't.
Because you said, and I quote, it seemed legit at first.
Yeah, it seemed legit, absolutely.
But do you think maybe it wasn't?
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know.
I didn't get any emails back, so obviously it wasn't legit, I guess, huh?
That sounds fishy to me.
I'm not really concerned about it. I mean, it was a trip paid for, so, and I got to go to San Diego and have a good time.
But you don't know where those pictures might turn up.
No. I mean, it's just me in underwear, so it's not like a big deal.
Yeah, well, okay, well, just you in your underwear, but she also said you were a gangbanger. You don't put off the gang vibe to me.
No, sir. I'm far from it.
He has admitted to being in a gang at an early, before we knew him. Before we knew him.
Never admitted to be getting in trouble as a child, but never being in a gang.
Okay, so you think he's a gangbanger and possibly a drug dealer?
I know that he seems to live large. and have lots of indispensable money and no proof of where it comes from.
Are you a drug dealer?
No, sir.
Do you do drugs?
I have in the past.
But you don't now?
No, sir.
Now, Michael has admitted to taking drugs in the past. Here's a bit of the drug history. He's taken Xanax, marijuana, crystal meth, cocaine, and ecstasy. That's a bit of a drug history.
Yeah, I mean,
are you concerned about that?
90% of the population is going to admit to doing at least smoking pot in college or in high school. So if you overcome it, I don't know why it's a big deal.
But you were concerned enough about it, you wanted to take a drug test before you moved in together.
But that was for my own sake. That was to know that he was clean. It's
Right.
not, I don't
And-
think that it's a bad thing of someone to do drugs or them to be beneath me.
All right. So did you do the drug test?
Yeah, we did before I moved in.
Yeah. Where'd you get it?
Walmart.
You went to Walmart
The
and got
pharmacy.
it? Okay. Did you take the drug test?
Yes, sir.
Because you told us two different things. You said you bought the test and he took it. Then you said, well, actually, when you bought it, that was enough proof for you, so you didn't ask him to take it. So which was it?
Well, I would also believe him, but I would also want to reassure myself that
Well, you
Kaylin-
just told us two different stories. I'm just wondering which one is true.
No, he took it
He took it. Okay.
in my apartment before we even moved in.
Okay.
Before he moved in with me.
Which is it?
Before I could move in with Kaylin, she asked me to take a drug test.
I just made him promise me that he was going to be clean.
We went to some store, we grabbed it. As we went to the counter, she just said, you know, I believe you. You came this far. There's no need. I trust you. It made me feel really good that finally we're gaining some trust back and we're working on our relationship, taking things a little further.
Which is it? You both just told me you got it and you took it, and then you just told us on tape that you didn't take it.
I mean, I'm taking drug tests. I mean.
Well, that wasn't the question.
Okay.
The question was that you went to the store, you bought the test, did he take it or did he not? You said, yes, he did. You said, yes, I did. Did you or did you not?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get to the facts here.
Yeah, we've taken drug tests before.
So we're talking about two different times here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because in that tape, you said you didn't take it.
We've
But you clearly
attempted
told
twice.
me, because you clearly told me you did. And then you clearly told me you didn't. I'm just trying to be sure we're dealing with the facts here. Are you clean now?
Yes, sir.
Would you take a drug test now to prove it?
If I have to, yeah.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to do
saying, I
anything.
mean-
I'm just saying, if what I'm trying
I'm
to
saying
do.
yes, I'll take a drug test,
If
absolutely.
if she is falsely accusing you, you seem like a very nice.
Would you like me to take a gay test too on that subject? I mean, I'm just asking, are gangbanger tests, are, you know, drug dealer tests, I mean, do I need to take those as well?
I guess you could.
I mean, how do you test for all those
Well,
too?
we'd have to get a polygraph
I know,
operator here.
absolutely.
If all of that comes back positive, that he's telling the truth, are you going to back off?
If that were all to come back and he is telling the truth, you know, I can own my stuff. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
No, because you still want to be in control, so you
No,
can still
this
find
is
some
not a
way.
control, Dr. Phil. This is, that little girl is the reason I breathe. Sorry.
I know I've done a lot of bad stuff in the past, and I can't take that back. I mean, people do change, and I mean, obviously you should know that as well, because I think you're with somebody who's changed, right?
Yes.
They've changed, right? They've done bad stuff. I mean, why can't I change? Why can't I have that opportunity to change?
Number one, this is not about who I'm with. This is about my daughter, and this is about you.
I love your daughter.
I thought you did.
It's like you can't let
Past
go
tense.
because she's growing up, and now you're finding opportunities to, I don't know, I'm not sabotage. I understand where you're coming from.
Have you done cocaine since you lived together?
No, sir.
Has he?
No.
Okay, and you're confident of that?
Yes.
And you said if he was doing drugs, that would be a deal breaker for you.
Oh, that's 100% deal breaker.
Uh-huh. Do you want him to take a drug test?
I mean, I trust him, but I mean, that's up to him. I don't really care.
Well, he said he would.
Which is
and,
fine.
And you said if, because you're saying he's doing drugs, if he's telling the truth, you owe him an apology.
I think he has done drugs
Well, it's
in the
going to
past.
show. It's going to show up on drug test if he takes it today.
I think he has done drugs in the past 2 months.
Have you?
In the past 2 months?
Yes. Since you have been with my daughter, you have
I've
done
used drugs since I've been with your daughter, not
drugs.
since I moved in. I'm not gonna lie. I have used drugs. Obviously, that's the reason why sometimes I didn't come home, because I didn't want to be around her and I was embarrassed.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So I told you that. That was a known fact.
I do, and I appreciate that.
I told you that. I was honest
Would
about
you
that.
pass the drug test if you took it?
Yeah, I would pass the drug test. I've never stated that I didn't do drugs. I was dating your daughter. I did. I stayed that with you. I thought we came to a conclusion, you know, of getting clean. I'm clean
We
now.
did. We did. We had that conversation.
Absolutely.
That after a weekend where he completely went AWOL, from a Thursday, basically, I think, till Saturday or Sunday, he was completely gone.
When you say
And-
when you say completely gone, that was to you guys.
It-
I was still.
No, you weren't.
Okay.
She was on my bed at midnight, crying her eyes out, telling me, I have not heard from Michael. I have not heard from Michael. He came home from that. He admitted using the drugs at that point, and we put together a plan as a family. We talked about it.
All right, I want to rule this out. You say you'll take a drug test. I would like for you to do that. I would like for you to do, and I appreciate your willingness to do that. And I think you need to see that. I think you need, if he passes it, I think you owe him an acknowledgement that he has. April is here. She is a drug test technician, and I will have you go with her right now and take a drug test so you can cross that off your list. So April, you want to take Michael, and you can go do that right now? And I want to talk to you while he's gone. You can stay here because I want to talk to you. Coming up, we're going to get the results of that, but in the meantime, I got some things I want to say to these two right here. Now, Melanie says there's no denying that her daughter's boyfriend is personable and good-looking. You agree with that?
Absolutely.
But you have problems with his character.
I do.
This is how she views this. This is your version. I wrote down her version of him. This is his resume from your mother's point of view. Experience. 2004, served 2 days for assault and battery. 06, abused crystal meth. 06, used ecstasy. 2010, arrested for fraud. 2010, abused cocaine. 2010, stopped using cocaine. Education, college dropout. Experience with Xanax and marijuana. That's pretty much your version of him, true?
Yes.
So if that's the way she sees him, would you expect any other point of view from her?
No, but this isn't.
What's wrong on there?
Okay, 2010, arrested for fraud. No.
Is that not true? That is true.
College dropout. Okay. If you're a college dropout and you're planning to go right back to school, then wouldn't it?
Was he or was he not arrested for fraud?
No. He was arrested for something that had to do with a car, but
He sold a car he didn't own.
he did own it, is what everything came down to. And then in the end, when we talked to the car dealer, it was dropped.
You pull him up, it's there. But do you understand? I mean, come on, give her a break. If those are the facts as presented to her, she's going to be concerned.
Yeah.
And if the facts presented to her are you left crying, and he's going on, and you got to admit, this photo shoot, particularly with somebody that's already sensitized to this issue, that sounds real fishy. That had to sound fishy to you.
It did in the end because we both tried to contact them, and that's when we were like, wow, that was really not something you should have done. Because he had modeled in the past, so I wasn't like, oh, don't go. It was an opportunity.
Well, and listen, if he's gay, as I told him, embrace that. Be who you are.
Then I would be his best friend and not his girlfriend.
Of course, exactly. And you would want to know that, and he needs to be honest with you about that. And if he's not, then he's not. I'm not. It just is what it is. Now, what I'm interested in from you is you have to understand something here.
Okay.
You can love her and not love all of her choices.
I do, and I have made that perfectly clear. I have, Dr. Phil, I have backed off substantially. I don't badmouth him to her. I don't say ugly things to her anymore.
Keyword.
Yeah,
to me.
but you.
But it's going to
listen,
get back to me.
Yeah, she clearly knows what your position is.
She knows my she knows
All right.
me.
Well, listen, we've got him taking a drug test. From what I hear, he's a little nervous about taking his test. He apparently says he's not able to for some reason. I don't know. We're going to find out. In the meantime, I am going to talk to another mother who says that her teen texts her boyfriend over 200 times a day. They've exchanged as many as 8,000 a month. The daughter refuses to end it, even though the boy has broken up with her 4 times. So like you, it's a mother saying, I don't want to see my daughter hurt. But we'll talk about that, and then we'll get back together. We'll be right back.
Mackenzie's boyfriend makes her sit at home when all of her other friends are going out on dates. Mackenzie has cried herself to sleep more than a few times. My child's self-esteem is getting stomped on.
Now, Lori says her teenage daughter is crying herself to sleep, won't eat anything, all because her boyfriend broke up with her for the 4th time. Take a look.
I feel that Mackenzie's boyfriend is holding her back.
My mom is extremely controlling and very overbearing, mostly with my relationships.
She's been dragging this on for 2 years, 4 breakups. Mackenzie's boyfriend makes her sit at home when all of her other friends are going out on dates, and she waits for him night after night and gets to see him for maybe an hour or so, and then he has to leave again. Mackenzie has cried herself to sleep more than a few times. My child's self-esteem is getting stomped on by a ridiculous texting, superficial relationship.
I text a lot, maybe 200 texts a day, 6,000 texts per month.
The texting is out of control. She cannot put that phone down. It is like a heroin addiction.
It just bothers her because I'm texting my boyfriend and she doesn't think that I should talk to him.
I asked him if he was crazy about her, if he was in love with her.
And my mom did this behind my back, so then I got a phone call from him and we broke up because of the stress and the overbearingness of my mom.
And then they started texting one day later again. Have we done something wrong in the self-esteem department here to have you continue to cling on to some sick, twisted texting relationship? We can't quite figure out why this continues.
Okay, I'm here with Lori and Mackenzie. They tell me you've been backstage and upstairs barking at each other since you've been here. True?
Yes.
What do you want to see happen here?
This has gone on for 2 years, 4 breakups. They're texting the very next day, many times, and I feel it's holding her back from other opportunities.
Isn't being involved and breaking up and get back together and breaking up, I mean, isn't that kind of typical for teenagers? I mean, are you like a weird kid or something?
No.
Or is this kind of...
No, I'm not a weird kid.
Are you more invested in it than he is?
Yes, probably.
Any relationship where someone is pursuing and someone is retreating constantly in the relationship is really unhealthy.
Even though we aren't together, we are still friends. Like, we both want to be friends. It's not like...
But you want to be more than friends.
I think that if we can't be together, that he was a big part of my life and I still want to be friends with him. I don't see what she has a problem with that.
Okay, but does he have a problem with it?
No, he says, I want to be friends with you. I don't want to not talk to you. I want to be friends with you.
Okay, but does that mean 8,000 text messages in a month?
No.
I mean, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, and how many times have y'all broken up?
4.
And how many times did you break up?
None.
Okay, so it's him breaking up with you.
Yes.
Over and over and over. Okay, so that's a clue that this doesn't have a long-term future. And so that means if you continue to invest there, you're missing other things. That's your concern, right?
Yes.
You're missing finding somebody that thinks you're wonderful and loves you till the end of the earth. You're missing those, you could take 6,000 of those text messages and send them to other friends or other things where you could cultivate other relationships.
See, I think me talking to him will keep me like pushing other guys away. It's not that. I don't shun people. I don't say, no, I don't want to talk to you. I just want to talk to him. That's not how it is at all. And her saying I'm missing out on things in life, I completely disagree.
You think the reason that y'all have broken up so much is in large part due to your mother.
A couple weeks ago when we broke up, she called him behind my back, didn't talk to me about it, didn't ask me. And she called him, and he called me and said that she'd called and had given her opinion, you know, if you're not in love with her now, then you never will be, and saying that she doesn't think that this relationship is how it should be. And so we broke up, and, you know, part of me is saying, like, who's to say this is the right way to have a relationship? Just because it's not what you want doesn't mean it's not what I want.
So you called him?
Absolutely.
I think you kind of ran a red light there.
She barely saw him 5 hours in a couple weeks. And I'm like, what 20-year-old doesn't want to see their 17, almost 18-year-old girlfriend more than 5 hours in 2 weeks when you're dating? It's just not right to me.
Let me tell you, I think it's great for parents to be involved. That's really up to the point that it starts to backlash on you.
Right.
And I wouldn't have called the boy. But forget about what your mom's telling you here. Obviously, we've just met. But right now, you're being intellectually dishonest when you say you want to be friends. You know it and I know it. That's not what you want. You're willing to settle for that if you think it keeps your hand in the game until it can turn around and you can be more than friends. But that's not honest when you say that. Now, you and I both know that. Leave this guy alone. If it's meant to be, and if he's going to find you and pursue, he'll do that. But he will not as long as you're pursuing and he's retreating. You've got to retreat. He may come back, he may not. But either way, it's not healthy for you to do what you're doing. Do you agree with what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It's definitely going to come better from Dr. Phil than Mommy. So
Yeah.
we've begged her. We've begged her.
The only thing worse than being in a dead-end relationship for a year is being in a dead-end relationship for a year and 1 day. Take a giant step back here. She's not just trying to control you. She's trying to advise you because she's been there. And by the way, she's right. I hate that. I hate that.
It. Thank you, finally.
I hate it when you're right. All right. Will you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I want you to watch I want you to watch this like 10 times.
Okay.
All right? I'm sure you will anyway. How did I look? Did they show my shoes? How did I look? All right. Next, what's going on with Michael backstage in the drug test? We're going to find out when we come back. During the break, as I was talking to Lori and her lovely daughter Mackenzie, we sent Michael off to take the drug test. What's happened?
I've just used the restroom like 3 times before I got out here, so I'm just waiting to use it.
So you haven't been able to give a specimen yet?
Yeah, not yet, but I will.
So to speak. Okay, and April is here. You're the technician. You stand ready to do this, right?
Yes.
So we're just going to wait.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, that's fine with me.
No, I don't want to put pressure, because, you know, sometimes when somebody's staring at you to go, it's like, you can't go. So we'll wait. So don't feel any pressure.
All right, I don't. I would try.
Don't feel any pressure at all. We'll wait if it's an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever it takes. We're going to be here. So we'll wait so you can relax and just do this whenever you're ready. So this is one of the miracles of television. It's going to be a break right here. When you next see me, it may have been an hour or 2 or 3, but we'll be back and we'll have a little sample and we'll have a little test and we'll finish this conversation.
I'm just really frustrated. I don't mind taking one in privacy of my own home, which I had before. I mean, I could do it. I knew this was going to be about, and I tried to pee 3 times. I can't pee, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do a drug test on national TV.
What's up? No drug test? Why will you not take this one? You can't pass the drug screen, right?
No, I can. I will do it. I will pass a drug screen. I didn't want this to be about me doing drugs and that stuff. I want it to be, let's work on me and your mom.
But wait a minute. If you can take the drug screen and pass it, then that goes on national television and totally vindicates you. You agreed to take a drug test, and then
I'm not gonna do it.
Then that makes you look like you have something to hide.
That's fine.
No, that's not fine. I mean, come on. If you're saying that you don't want anything to damage your reputation, that is the way to completely kill that in her mother's mind, in her mind, and in anybody's mind that's watching. You can totally kill it. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. There has been an awful lot going on about taking a drug test, and he did not want to do it on national television and all, and was resistant to that, wanted to do it privately. I said, that's fine. And you said, I'll do it, and I'll let them see it, and they can tell you whatever they want to tell you. And you're totally okay with that, right?
Yes, sir.
You don't have a problem in the world with this.
No, sir.
All right, now what we have tested for are amphetamines, cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamines, opiates, PCP, barbiturates, benzodiazepines, methadone, MDMA. It's a pretty broad drug screen by a very sophisticated test. What were the results?
Am I supposed to say it?
You're okay for her to say it, right?
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
That's what we said. You said that,
that's fine.
you would do this privately with them, and then they could tell me the
Say
results.
whatever they want.
It was negative,
Okay, it was negative.
right?
And for people that don't take drug tests every day, that means that he tested drug-free.
Correct.
Okay? So, and as I told you before you took this test, I had every belief that you were going to pass it. I've told him that for an hour ago. I did not think he was using drugs. And we've been through, gangbanger, gay porn, drug dealer, drug user.
He has used drugs since he has been in a relationship with Kaylin.
Okay.
After Kaylin told him, if you use drugs, I will not be with you again, and he used them again. She said on national TV a little while ago, if this test was positive, she would not be with him. She has said that before, and yet he has admitted to using drugs after she said those words to him.
Okay,
That's
you need to acknowledge
Yes,
that A, he came here.
correct.
He didn't have to
I'm
come
very
here.
proud of
He
him
came here
for
because
that.
you wanted him to come here.
Yes.
I feel like I've defended you about
sir.
that. I thought it was absurd to say that he was a gang member and
He said he was a gang member. He has told Kaylin he was a gang member. I am not repeating hearsay. He admitted he was a gang member.
If
Well,
someone
that
was
is
a gang
hearsay
member,
by
why would I be
definition,
with them?
But that doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, as he sits here today,
Correct.
do you acknowledge he's drug-free?
Today he is drug-free, yes.
Well, no, he's not just drug-free today. He's been drug-free for a good while because this is a very
At least
sensitive
30
test.
days, right.
You need to acknowledge that.
I do acknowledge that. I am very proud of him for coming here, Dr. Phil.
I never wanted you and Kaylin's relationship to get sour. Ask Kaylin that. I have broken up because I never wanted to get in the way of you and Kaylin. Because I never had that as a kid, and I understand that.
Right. You two are in a toxic relationship.
To you, maybe.
You are not healthy together.
But how are we in a toxic relationship if we're taking positive steps forward? I don't know what else a responsible 19-year-old should be doing with her serious boyfriend. Like, should I run to Vegas and get married and pop out 3 kids and drop out of college? Or should I be congratulated for saying, you know what, I'm so proud of you for going to college. Thank you for bettering someone else's life and letting him push you and you push him to better yourself. It's like, what else should I be doing? And I'm trying to do the right thing, but it seems like the right thing in the end is the wrong thing, or it's not what she wants.
It is not the matter of what I want. You are not the same human being that you were.
Okay. You need to hear me here.
I hear you.
Well, that means you need to let me finish.
Okay.
If you want a relationship with your daughter going forward, you're going to have to lighten up a little bit here. You got to decide, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Because you're being right. You're saying, I am the mother. I know best. You are different since you got involved with him. I'm sure she is. She's in love. That changes somebody. They start thinking they're grown up. They start thinking they're independent. They start doing different things that you wouldn't choose. But the bottom line is, this is not who you would choose for her.
That's not so. That is not true, Dr. Phil. I liked Michael. I approved
we're talking about now. Where are you now?
Michael. When he moved into my house, I approved of Michael. I moved him in there. I kept him close so that I could see what he was. When his actions did not line up with who he was telling me he was, if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. I'm just too sorry, but you do...
And you think he's a duck? You think he's a gay duck?
I think he is a bisexual.
A gay drug-dealing duck.
I think he is bisexual. I think he is having relationships with other men. I don't care if he is bisexual.
Okay,
I will love him anyway.
Okay, but you have absolutely no basis for that, though, right?
Hold on.
No, wait a minute. Let her answer this question. You have no evidence of that, right?
I do not have a picture of him involved with another man. No, I do not. Okay. I am a mother. I have a gut. I have a feeling. I have an intuition. That child, I told you before, is the reason I breathe. Yes, I'm protective.
Okay,
yes, I'm overbearing.
If that's correct.
Yes.
If you're correct, then that will work out between them.
Exactly.
They'll work out. You're not giving your daughter enough credit here.
I give my daughter credit. But
what'd you want to say?
But if it's her looking in, that's different from like me looking in. If I'm a woman and I'm the one who is with Michael every night and who lives with him, who is the one that is involved with him, okay, I'm a woman, and not to say like women are like, they're gonna get you, but if I was a woman and my boyfriend was sleeping with someone would know. And it would be me. You can't hide that every single night of your life coming home
That's
to me.
what I'm saying. I think you think she's just gone blind, all this. Just love is blind, and she's gone blind to all this. I think she has, I sense in her that she's pretty savvy for her age. I think she certainly has standards. And I think if she thought he was sleeping with anyone else, man, woman, or whatever, that would not be okay with her. That would not be okay with her. And true?
Yeah, very. If I suspected it, I would not be with him.
You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me conclude this conversation in this way. What you're doing is not working.
right, how's that working for you?
And your answer would be?
It's not.
Okay, so the idea is if it's not working for you, you got to do something different.
Right.
And I want you to have a relationship with your daughter. So what you need to do is support her and let them work these things out. If he is going a different way in his life, that will take its track in due time. And in the meantime, this is a stable young woman you've raised her. You should be proud of the job you've done. You understand you've got to take a deep breath, a step back, and take a different tact here.
Yes.
Or you're going to alienate yourself.
Yes.
And that's not going to work right. Okay. Michael, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll be right back. I want to thank all of my guests for being here today. Be sure and go to drphil.com for more information. And of course, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. And I do like to hear from you guys. And boy, do you have opinions. And I do pay attention to them. I don't always agree, but I do pay attention. And as you know, I oftentimes respond. So I'll be talking to you on the World Wide Web. Thanks for being here. So long.